Hi and hello watch fans, and welcome to another edition of the Real Time Show with me, your friendly neighbourhood watchmaker, Rob Nerds. Today I am joined in the glass igloo outside Villa Sarlasan here for the Time to Watches event by Simona Richter of Sinn Watches from Frankfurt am Main. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very fine.
Good, it's a very fine day, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sun's not in your eyes?
Yeah, much warmer than the days before, so we are all in the good mood.
Everybody's smiling, everybody's enjoying watches, and I'm not surprised when we've got things like the novelty from Sinn that I'm holding in my hand right now to enjoy. Could you please give us a breakdown of this U18 model I have in my hand?
Yeah, it's a very special watch because we launched it because we have an anniversary of diving watches made of German submarine steel. As you might know, we have these U models, U1, U2, UX. There's a very successful line, and this is for 20 years right now. Unbelievable. The first watch started from this material was in 2005. In those days we bought new submarine steel to build these watches, and for the novelty Rob has in his hands right now, we have steel from
A decommissioned submarine.
Decommissioned. I don't know why.
For our listeners, please say it in German. This is why it's difficult to remember decommissioned, because we make it quite simple, but in German it is...
Stahl von außer Dienst gestellten U-Booten. Also außer Dienst gestellt. Decommissioned. But that's my personal problem that I can't keep that word in my mind.
It means literally steel from an out-of-service submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fancy.
Yeah. So we are in a position to make this a limited watch, limited to 1,000 pieces because of the quantity of steel we buy, and make a really outstanding diving watch.
It is outstanding.
Yeah.
It's extremely striking. There's something about this steel. I mean, it's a heavy watch.
It's a heavy watch, of course, because you have 2,000 meter water resistant, and you need some material for that. And it comes on a bracelet also. And if you want to have that quality, you need a little bit material.
I think quality is the word that this piece absolutely exudes. I mean, the finishing is on point. You wouldn't expect anything less from a company as precise as Sinn, but the build, I mean, this thing looks like a submarine in itself, and it is fascinating. Off air, I was just sort of turning that over in my hands and marveling out loud at how strange a thing it is to think that this metal in my hand and on my wrist has lived under the sea for how many hours and how many miles, did you say?
You can read it on the dial. We print the sea miles this submarine has made. So it's for the U18, I think it's 190,000.
192,142 sea miles.
So that's roughly 10 times around the world.
How crazy is that? You know, it's all well and good having a story and provenance, behind a watch's design, but to actually have something that has sailed around the world.
Yeah, and it has. They built these submarines in the early 1917s, and if you know that this kind of material, there are generations of crews working in the submarines, and it was in charge in those times where we have a Cold War, covering the peace, protecting the Baltic Sea, and you have the possibility to have this piece of history, of maritime history on your wrist. So it's a very emotional, very special piece.
There's a very interesting, very special motif on the dial as well. It's a bubbly pattern, which is unusual and I think like very playful for Sinn, which is not a brand I associated with playfulness particularly. I associate Sinn mostly with extremely competent tool watches with exceptional finishing, peerless build quality. Bubbly, wie kann man das auf Deutsch sagen? Bubbly.
Blasen, tatsächlich Luftblasen.
Luftblasen, so air bladders.
Air bladders, something like that.
Great, okay, go on.
But the reason is that we want to make these watches look totally different to the regular U models. Yeah, and we decided if you see the material where the watch came from, as you can imagine, a submarine which was in charge for decades of years, from 1970 to 2010, roughly about, doesn't look very nice anymore from the outside.
Right.
We want to make exactly the opposite. So you have a satinized, polished satinized finish on the case, and we decide to go for this more or less a little bit fancy dial also. But what I personally like very much, if you see the photos in our catalog on our website, you see the bubbles very strongly. But if you have it on your wrist for normal daily light circumstances, it's you even don't see them in sometimes. So it's really, there's a lot of variances if you wear this watch on your wrist.
I mean, it is incredibly subtle. It isn't any way distracting from the time telling. It's beautifully done. I mean, the bubbles are effectively 3D, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
It's more like, rather than coloration, more like UV spot printing when certain areas of the dial are highlighted with an application of gloss.
Yeah.
It's really clever. It's really cool. It's very different. And it is a nice thing to see, honestly. Tell me, at 6 o'clock here, there's a small aperture which intersects.
Yeah.
Is that a moisture indicator or?
Yeah, the U18 is containing the AR dehumidifying technology.
Ah, okay.
This technology which protects the watch from fogging up. So for this technology, we take out the normal air of the watch case because normal air contains always a little bit humidity.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have strong temperature changes, then it can fog up from the inner side. To avoid this, we bring a very dry gas into the case. And also this capsule, it's filled with copper sulfate.
Okay.
And copper sulfate will absorb the humidity which came in while you are wearing the watch. So not that it means that you have a broken watch. It's just the humidity in the air that can come in again. Yeah, and this technology which we invent for very hard users, professional users, but it's also a big advantage for anyone because it makes the service intervals longer.
How long does this capsule need to be replaced?
You can see when it has to be replaced because copper sulfate became more blue the more humidity is in it.
Okay, blue. Okay, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is a serious piece of kit, as we would say in English, slightly colloquially.
Yeah.
It's something for professionals, I would say, that they would wear. No helium valve. Not that I'm a saturation diver, so I'd never need one, but not something you were interested in adding into a model that has 2,000 meters water resistance? A helium valve so that
no, that's not. You don't need it, on our opinion, because if you have this watch and you will dive and you have to come up again, then the watch has the same procedure as your body has, so it works. Yeah. So all our diving watches are tested and certificated by the DNV. So we make a real test for these 2,000 meters and also a little percentage up so that we can really ensure that it will work.
You see, I was trying to tee you up there to show off a little bit because other brands put helium valves on things that really do not need them. But if you build the watch correctly, then shouldn't be a problem at all. Now, this feels like something that should cost an awful lot of money. But what is the retail price?
The retail price in Germany for this piece is a little bit about 3,000 euros, 3,250 euro. And there are two other models in this line we launch. It's one with 41 millimeter diameter with the hands of the U1 or U50, and also with 44 without the AR dehumidifying technology and a little bit less pressure resistant.
So it's an incredible product for that retail price. I mean, we've not only got this beautifully machined case, as I mentioned, the bracelet. Of course, it has these lovely screwed links for adjusting to perfect size and a really solid adjustable clasp, which, is pure Sinn. It's just function.
Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah. So we invented this one and it's coming for all of our bracelets.
Okay.
Going time
brilliant.
to time, yeah.
It strikes me that you must be operating on pretty slim margins because this seems like an awful lot of watch for the money.
It is. Exactly right, unfortunately. That's because of our history, as the company was founded, we only say dial directly to the customer. So there was no margin for distributors. And as founder of the company, Helmut Sinn, and also Lothar Schmidt, the owner of the company those days, they did not calculate big marketing budgets. I hate to say that because I'm in charge of marketing and I would love to have more.
Oh, I knew that already. We've worked together for years. Never got a single cent out of you, to be honest. But luckily for you. Oh, that's good to hear. Although those tariffs we were talking about off air might put paid to any plans to have a marketing budget now. Your biggest market, I guess, export-wise, must be the US.
It is.
Yeah.
It's always a battle between the US and Japan, to be honest.
You're kidding me?
Yes, true.
Okay, that surprises me. I think maybe I have I've never worked in Japan, so I don't really have a read on the market at all. So maybe I just misunderstand what kind of watches they would go for. But I'm assuming that the build quality and the reputation of German engineering is what would make it appeal.
They love the technique. And what I have to say, all the time we are discussing why the US and Japan are the best export markets today. I think it's one point which is important for us anyway. It's both are very long-term partnerships. You have really people and partners with a lot of heartbeat for the brand. They understand the technique, they love the brand, and a partnership above all. And that's very important for us.
I'm guessing that Germany must be a huge market share leader for you.
Yeah, it is, of course.
Yeah. I mean, the reputation is incredible on home soil, and you obviously have more points of sale within Germany than I guess anywhere else at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also very important because we have still the direct sale in Germany next to selling also over our partners, we so-called depots, jewelry shops. But the point that we still have the end customer in our headquarter is so important because we learn so much. Yeah, we listen what they say. If they say, "Oh, I like bigger watches, smaller watches," such a small thing, or what they don't like, and I think it makes a big difference if you have the customer in front of you complaining.
Yeah, of course. Of course, you really listen to them, right?
Yeah, you will listen. And also if somebody is enthusiasm and tells you what he loves, and that's something which is a big difference and and a big inspiration for us all the time.
So if I'm a potential Sinn customer, can I come and visit you in Frankfurt am Main at your headquarters?
Of course. We have opening times from Monday to Friday from 10 to 6 p.m.
Oh, wow.
And we have a nice showroom.
You do. They have a lovely little museum almost to walk through to see all the pieces and read about the history. And there's some incredible moments of history in your past, which I think a lot of people probably don't know about because you don't have any marketing budget. That's the problem.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are right.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it, to be fair. I mean, it's very hard to be heard above the noise of watchmaking as it is, but what you have done very well is cultivate an extremely passionate core community that understands the watches. I mean, Sinn is a watch lovers brand. It really is something that people obsess over as soon as they understand, like the quality that they get on their wrist. You're very quiet on the international stage because, again, you have to throw money, thousands, hundreds of thousands after one another to even get any kind of movement in that regard. But you make an incredible product, which when people get on their wrists and start to use, they realize it was built for exactly that, for use. And that's what's, I think, sustained the brand and kept it growing steadily over the years. One thing you do need to carve out a budget for, though, is your website, because it is incredible. It's like an artifact from like the old tool watch days. It takes me back to like...
Have you checked it those days?
I've checked it recently. Have you updated it?
Because we have had a relaunch in June last year.
Check it now. I was on it recently.
Have a look at it.
Let me have a look. I've always loved it because I love these little throwbacks.
Stop sweating, Rob.
Okay, maybe I haven't checked it since June. That is totally possible. So I might be disappointed then because I loved it. There's like an old catalogue from a dive watch shop like back in the 50s. Oh, you have changed it. It looks pretty swanky. This is why you've not got any marketing budget. Well, I doff my cap to you.
It's all guns there.
You've dragged it to the 20th century at last. Oh, I kind of miss it now. Oh,
So we worked it out a little bit, and we tried to arrive in today.
yeah, you really done it. I actually don't believe it. Honestly, I must not have been on it since June. But what an absolute.
But Rob is
facelift.
right, yeah, because now you can imagine it was really a hard work to coming from this really old-fashioned page, which works good for us, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it was a big step for us. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Check it out.
Yes, no, go and have a look. If you, like me, hadn't been on it since June last year, you will be amazed they've actually done it. Oh, you've got a branch in my hometown in Swinger. Oh, great. I'm learning all sorts of things in this interview. This is why we do the real-time show. Alan and I always say it's bad for our wallets because every time we see new watches and talk to people from brands, we fall in love with them all over again. Oh, well, now that's an interesting moment. That is a seminal moment for the brand. You've got rid of the mail order catalogue that was your website and replaced it with something that looks like it was built.
Yeah, but we still have the printed catalogue, and we send it. We love to send it everybody who would like to have
a marketing budget. For goodness sake.
But think about, you can sit somewhere such a like nice place as we are sitting right now, and you can relax in your chair, and you can turn the pages of a printed catalogue, feel the paper. As much as I love the internet, I love that we still produce a catalogue because it stays at the table. And some people collecting it also.
Oh, that does not surprise me. No, and you're right. Okay, it does cultivate that feeling of community and that physical connection with the brand. And as long as the paper stock is good, which I'm sure it is, because Sinn makes everything it makes very, very well, then it will reflect the quality of the watches, just like the one I'm holding in my hand, the U18. So go on this revamped website, check it out, get down to your local Sinn boutique or retailer, or even take a trip over to Germany and visit the team at HQ to see exactly what we're talking about and to indulge yourself in the world of fine-made tool watches. Simona, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Okay, let's speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, Sinn, you missed out on that one. It's a big brand. It's one of the bigger brands at Time to Watches, a big fish in a smaller pond, of course, one of the most beloved and renowned tool watch manufacturers in the world, bringing some interesting novelties. I mean, the one that stuck with me was the one that has bubbles on the dial, the U15. Is it cute or is it ridiculous for a tool watch? Alon, discuss.
Before I discuss, we joke around in Holland because you pronounce it in a Dutchy way, Zin, as if it's a Z-I-N. And Zin in Dutch means I feel like it. Ik heb er zin in. So my brother and I always joke around, oh, ik heb er zo'n zin in. We want Sinn at Ace. So we're not objective. We love it. We love the brand. We're in dialogue with them. I love how tool-esque they are, both in the collections and Spartan in their behavior and teams. Fantastic people. I missed this one. I regret it. Last Geneva Watches, you and I actually had a very fun and cool meeting with them. Everything buzzes around the brand. They're bubbly. So for them to make a bubbly dial, why not? The U15 is a fantastic dive watch. They make Uber tool watches. Yeah, why not? They get away with it. Actually looks very good.
It's funny, that pronunciation difference between Dutch and German, because if Sinn was spelt with a Z in German, it would be Zinn. And you'd have to put that T in there, which has probably just broken most people's headphones coming through the mic as it did there. It nearly broke mine, that's for sure. But yeah, Sinn, if you prefer, is not known for frivolity in this way. Do I like it? I mean, it's a nice colorway. It's quite tastefully done. It is, I think, congruous with the whole watch design. I mean, it's a diver. Thing is, though, what if your watch was leaking? You wouldn't really see the water droplets on the inside of the case.
I have an answer for you.
Yeah?
Sinn watches don't leak, buddy. So look how confident they are.
If this is the only time we see bubbles in a Sinn watch, so, you know, there you go. You've never seen this before. It's nice.
I want to counter now to you, because we're referring to them as being a tool watch brand. What did you think of the 1739 Römerberg? So a two-hand dress watch. Should Sinn make these watches?
It's definitely not Sinn. Let's not start that.
I'm kidding.
Don't do that. That will hurt my ears. I really dislike this 1739 Römerberg. I'm a huge fan of Sinn. The Sinn Hydro UX was the first luxury watch I ever bought for myself. I would not say a word against their tool watches, and I won't say a word against the quality of their dress watches. Do I think these watches and the sort of financial district watches they make are the best of type? No, I don't. I don't think that they have quite the je ne sais quoi that you want from like a stylish, elegant piece that you're going to wear around the office. Like I'd buy a Jaeger-LeCoultre, I'd buy a Cartier, I'd buy a Blancpain. I wouldn't find myself rushing to buy a dressy Sinn because for me, that's not what they do well. They do it fine. Their execution is always on point. That is, I think, undeniable. No watch within Sinn's catalog is poorly made. It's just a question of like whether or not you want this from Sinn. Because I can get this from other brands for less, and I can get it from other brands for a lot more, but with a lot more prestige attached to it. So is it a nice watch? Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. But I'd rather... So this is a moment, we discussed Anno Dane yesterday. I'd rather buy an Anno Dane for about the same price, you know?
Yeah, I know. So taking it from one spectrum to the other, another, well, not two-hand watch, but a three-hand watch, but one that I'm super happy Sinn is making. And I don't even know what other brand could have or should have made it. It's the 1800 Titan Damas Zenner.
This is a weirdo. This is like a watch that looks like a concept watch from the early 2000s or maybe the early teens. It's weird because those indices and hands, they're obviously not heat blued. So I guess they're chemically blued. They could be PVD coated, of course, or lacquered even. They are vivid, striking. I like the fact they've gone to the lengths of outlining the Sinn logo, or the word mark, should I say, and the Damascena with the blue as well. It's a funny one. I like that it exists. It doesn't tempt me in the least, but I like that it exists. And at almost 10,000 euros, it is, I think it's more of a marker point than it is a commercial project. But what do you think?
I agree. I don't think this is done for ROI or to ramp up sales in value. I think they approach it as a concept, as you've said. It reminds me of the Omega Ultra Light Seamasters. You know, they make for these Olympic athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
I love they've done it, and I salute them for it. And I want to end up this episode by asking you if you're allowed to pick up one Sinn today. Which one do you pick?
I'm only allowed one.
Yes.
You know what? There's a Pilot chronograph that I saw in a window of a boutique in Frankfurt. It was a 356, and the model that I liked the most was the sort of anthracite dial with a silver subdial, which I think was the anniversary special or the Jubiläum special. That is a sharp little watch. It's a smart piece. It's very Sinn. It's also not quite as toolish, as overtly toolish as some of the more like heavily bezeled models. It's a nice balance. I think it's a pretty muted colorway. It could go with a lot of different things. So I think that would be my pick if I could pick up just one Sinn, although there's several that I'd like to own. You?
Funny, I did not see that happening. I would have put all my money on you picking a quartz Sinn, and obviously you know where I'm driving to. It's the oil-filled quartz dive watches. Is it the U50, if I remember correctly?
Well, that was the first watch I ever bought for myself, so I've just been there and done that.
Yeah, I forgot that. I should have remembered that. I'm sorry, mea culpa. But I might go for that one as my first one, as a gateway drug. Definitely not the last Sinn I would have ever bought or buy. I guess that after this one, I'll go Fliegeruhr as well. And it will be this retro-ish 38, 39. I forgot. I think it's 247 or something like that. I need to find it quickly on the website. And then I might go back to diving again. But I love the Tegeman treatments they do. You remember that rescue team watch they made that they showed us last year? I forgot the name, Rob.
You mean the one with the pop-off bezel?
Yes.
So you can get the blood out?
Yes. That sounds so bad.
Yeah.
But these guys are so hardcore, form follows function. I love it. They're like Defender cars. They're fugly, but because of that, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they are beautiful, and they're one of our favourite brands. And I can't wait to get one for a full-length episode because it's never happened yet. So let's hang up now and give them a call as soon as possible.